Philadelphia Eagles, Chad Lewis. Chad, congratulations to you and all of Philadelphia. It's been almost 50 years in the making. A championship is back in the city of brotherly love. How do you feel, man?
Yo, Spencer, Kimball, Linton, I feel really good right now. I'm pumped.
Understandably. I mean, what does the first ever Super Bowl championship really mean to Philadelphia?
I can't put it in words, but I can say when I left the stadium to jump on the train to catch my plane, it was full of Patriots fans who left the stadium. All the Eagles fans stayed to party. And there was one Eagles fan on that train, and I just grabbed him, and we celebrated together. We were just laughing and crying, and he was talking about his grandpa in heaven who had to be celebrating. And I was like, you better believe it. And it was just, I could feel from him the reaction from Eagles fans everywhere. And it was so sweet.
What was the best moment you saw? Because you were in the stadium at the Super Bowl last night.
Yeah, I was there. It was the great part about it is that the Eagles went in to win the game. They played to win the game. They called plays to win the game. They didn't tiptoe in. They were aggressive. They maintained what they'd done all throughout the playoffs. Nick Foles was throwing laser beams. Guys were making plays. And it was just cool to see a heavyweight title bout battle on the Super Bowl stage against Tom Brady, who's the greatest quarterback in the history of the game, and he threw for over 500 yards, and the Eagles won. Yeah.
And no picks and one penalty, and they lost. It was incredible.
Crazy. With the celebration ongoing, Chad, how much sleep have you had in the last 24 hours?
I got some sleep last night. We had a coaches meeting this morning here at 8 a.m., so I was ready for that, and I was very grateful to be out there. I was there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. There were a lot of interviews. We did a pep rally with the owner and other people in the organization Saturday in the cold. It was snowing, and people just packed the streets of Minnesota. It was so cold, and yet I don't think all the fans were drunk in the streets, but they looked warm to me. They were pumped.
Chad, you took a picture with Chris Pratt. What was it like meeting Chris and/or any other celebs at the Super Bowl?
Oh man, Super Bowl is known for celebrities, and they were everywhere. Everywhere you turn was just like, oh my gosh. And Chris Pratt, I walked up and I said, "Are you an Eagles fan?" He said, "Well, I am today." I'm like, "Sweet." And we talked for just a second. Then as I was parting, I said, "Hey, I want you to know I like how you conduct yourself and the things that you stand for." And just because he's made it a point to talk about good things. And he said, "Hey, that's really nice. I want you to know I really appreciate that. Wow, that's really cool." And he didn't have to take time. He had a, entourage getting ready to fly out of there. And I thought, to me, it said a lot about him. That he just slowed his mind and all the madness around him. He just slowed it down enough to be polite, have some class, and I just thought that was really cool.
He's a Seahawks fan. That's how we do it, Chad.
He's a Philadelphia Eagles fan. I just told you, Jerry. Michael Jordan, listen to me.
He is a 12. He is a 12.
Chad, how long does the celebration last for you, and what are the chances you get to the Super Bowl parade in Philadelphia?
Well, I've had a lot of people ask me, and it depends. I mean, there's a chance I go back there. They're trying to figure out if it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. The last report I heard was it might be Thursday. So we'll see if I get back there. It would be fun. It's just how long is the celebration going to last? It's going to last for a long time because the losses, those NFC Championship losses, the Super Bowl loss, those things hurt. They go deep, and so this victory, it touches those nerves that were so deeply affected so many years ago, and it's kind of like going to counseling. I feel like I'm a new man.
And you can always bum it on Vicek Hammer's couch, right?
For sure. I mean, I'm Gary Barbera. He's my car person back there, so when I land, there'll be a car. I'll stay with Vi. It'll just be a total celebration. Something that we've talked about for a long time as Eagles, like how cool will it be to have our parade down Broad Street? And I really, really wanted it as a player, and we came close. And I'm so happy for these guys, Nick Foles, Doug Peterson, Zach Ertz, all of them.
Chad Lewis with us on BYU Sports Nation. It is a celebratory Monday for the entire Eagles fraternity, whether you're a fan or a former player or former coach. Just great stuff happening for the city of Philadelphia. On the other side, Chad, Kyle Van Noy had 5 tackles and is just the second Cougar to play in back-to-back Super Bowl since 1990. What did you think of Kyle's performance for the Patriots in that losing effort?
I thought he played great. I mean, his first tackle, he goes in and one-arm clothesline Blunt and just takes him down. And he was letting everyone know that he was there to play. And I let him know earlier in the week if he was the MVP and drove home with the truck, I'd be so pumped for him. And he belongs on that stage. I'm very happy for him, and I know right now he's disappointed. He wanted his second Super Bowl ring in a row, and I'm so grateful that he's kind enough to share the wealth with Philadelphia because, man, I needed that one.
Yeah.
There's the Super Bowl last night. So give us a timeline of what's happened like the last 12 hours for you. So the Eagles win the game, and then what happens?
Well, I wanted to go run down on the field, and unless you have previous arrangements to have the lanyard, which allows you on the field, you ain't getting on the field. You could be whoever you want, and if you get down there, one of those security snipers, they'll grab you and you out. And so I talked with some NFL people. I said, "What are the chances?" And they said, "Look, you don't have a lanyard. Don't do it." And I said, "Deal. You guys have been so good to me." So that last Hail Mary was thrown. I was standing. I'd left my area. I was in a box with Brian Rolapp, who's an NFL executive. And I left. I was standing in the end zone where the ball was coming, and it took 5 minutes to go through the air. And I looked back and forth from the ball to Gronk. I'm like, oh, my gosh, the big giant is waiting. And then when it hit the ground, game was over, then people went bananas. And I ran out and had to catch a train. Brandon Lewis, my next-door neighbor all those years in Cedar Hills, he was flying back on business. That's how I was able to get out there. And I was going separate to the airport from him, so I had to catch a train, catch a cab, and get to my destination so I could get the ride home. And so it was kind of pandemonium, just riding on the train, getting a million texts from family and friends, and just elated, trying to process what happened, just so pumped for it all.
Well, we're glad you made it back safely for your meeting at 8 o'clock, which is just crazy, but we're glad to have you back, and certainly grateful to have you with us on the show today. Before you go, Chad, we do want to bring up a man that had a significant influence in your life, especially as a football player, Roger French. He passed away at the age of 86. What did he mean to you, Chad?
Roger French was an amazing coach because he was a technician. He put a lot of offensive linemen from BYU into the pros because he was so good at teaching technique. Technique is everything. And he also had the ability, without swearing, to get you to play at a high level of football. And that's difficult. I mean, he never swore. He would call you turkey lips. He would call you whatever. But it was never, he was never cursing at you. And his ability to, as a coach, to pierce into your soul and get you to play at a high level, sometimes it wasn't that fun. And that's a coach's job at points, to get you to play this physical game at a level where you can be successful. And so during those not fun days, I was mad at him. During those great days, I loved him. But, I'm so grateful that he was my coach. I'm so grateful that he coached at BYU. He was not a member of the LDS Church, and he came from Minnesota to be here for all those years with Lavelle, and he gave his heart and soul to BYU. And what a credit to him for how he cared about the players and the student athletes at BYU.
Chad, we appreciate the insight into several different topics. Thrilled for you as a member of the Philadelphia Eagles fraternity that they have that Super Bowl championship. I know that you'll be celebrating it for a while, and thanks for taking some time with us today.
Yeah, it's great talking with you guys. Thanks so much.
Chad Lewis on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, your values, your timeline, your financial future.